This is Warface. We're here on PlayStation 5 taking a look at this free-to-play shooter. So what you get here is a combination of content. Originally you can do, cooperative missions, and then you're able to unlock basically the ability to do competitive multiplayer against others in a series of different environments and game types. So what we're getting here is a 4K resolution, 60 FPS HDR support with crossplay between the different platforms, which is a nice touch to have available for this particular game. So like I said, you can play this basically in cooperative missions against the AI, including some raid type things, more intense grueling missions, and some more casual ones. Then on top of that, there is a wealth of competitive PvP options that you can enjoy in order to compete against others across, many different modes like I mentioned. It's kind of okay. I've never thought it was necessarily the most amazing of shooter experiences, but at this point it definitely plays a lot better, it feels a lot smoother. Just, keep in mind that it's not necessarily the top tier things, but as a free-to-play game, it's actually not too bad in terms of, how the game actually runs and whatnot. Now, with that, there is a system of, hey, you can rent and or, put money towards better weapons or, access to different weapons and different, kind of customizable options. So you might feel as though there is a little bit of a free-to-play angle with that, or a pay-to-win type angle with that, but I really don't feel that it impacts gameplay too much, in my opinion. Just from what I've noticed. There's also different classes that are present within the game, so you get these different, kind of, assets that you play into. You could be like a medic, you could be more like a rifleman, things like that. And those kind of impact the gameplay. There are a few objective modes that are present too. I don't mind those. It's just got really, basic sort of stuff when it comes to how you move through the environments. These missions are very linear and whatnot, but they do give you something to do, and it's just kind of cool playing them, in co-op with others. I think that's a cool option. And just, yeah, I will say they also do support the game very well with, updates and whatnot. So I don't really have too many complaints other than it's very much, kind of a really generic shooter. They've added a lot of personality to the game over the years, just in terms of some of the different modes they've tried, and there's always something unique or different going on. It just, again, isn't something that you should necessarily anticipate the most hardcore of experiences with, but you gotta say they do actually support this game. They do upgrade it, they do add stuff to it, and I think that's kind of cool. I definitely appreciate that, and it's changed a lot too, because I remember this back from the PS3 360 era, just in regards to when this launched, and then it was only on PC, and then they kind of brought it back for consoles, and they've slowly been, updating it over time, adding stuff to it, and I appreciate that for sure. I think that's a good thing that they've done to this one, is actually keeping it concurrent, which I think is kind of amazing. It's neat to see free-to-play games last this long. And you can adjust some elements of, the game's, I guess you could say visuals as well, because I know a lot of people don't like the, some of the, I guess you could say, hit markers and whatnot, the crosshairs, so you can actually adjust that here. I thought it might be worth showing, because people always kind of mention that. And you can see enhanced resolution. I've got the HDR off, obviously, for just recording on here. And then the cross-platform and stuff too, which you can turn off if you don't want to play with others. Which I think might be weird, because I think half the fun of it is actually, playing across the different platforms, having a larger player base to enjoy. Whoa! And kind of working from there. Yeah, they've definitely changed the opening segment for this one, that is for sure. It is far different from what I remember it being, but yeah, the gameplay itself is about the same. They do tend to give it a little bit more of an advanced edge sometimes in terms of some of the aesthetics and stuff, and some of the weirder places you can go. They have fun with it, and I think that's kind of cool for a shooter. I mean, especially one that's been around as long as this one has. To not feel stale, you gotta keep going and just changing things up, and it's come, even a long way since when it originally released last gen. It's actually, had a lot of things added to it, and I definitely gotta appreciate that. Just to keep in mind, you're seeing us just mow down enemies here, and that's kind of what the game is, right? It's just blasting people. And then you have the multiplayer where you can, compete against others. And I always thought that was actually kind of a solid part of it, is facing off against others. It's just not the most complex things, but, you get your deathmatch, you get your... there's actually, like, this raid type thing or something like that. I don't know if you would call it a raid, because there's actually, like, raid content where you're raiding as a squad cooperatively. But there's, like, this... I don't know how you would describe it. It's sort of like... it's an objective-based movement system, almost like Battlefield stuff, I guess, to a degree. Where you're trying to, like, capture different positions and push forward. It's kind of neat. It's not nearly as big, with the quantity of players, but you get what I'm saying. It's playing around with those strengths. Oh, we are getting shot up. So you might find this to be fun. Again, it's just, like, to me, it feels quite generic at times. Like, really plays it safe, and, that's not necessarily a terrible thing, but, yeah, this whole tutorial opening, I think, is quite different from what I remember, even prior. It's kind of cool just having, like, a squad right off the bat and going in here and just battling. It's kind of nice. It's time to go, team. Let's roll. Everybody out. Everybody exfiltrate. We're getting out of here, but it looks really sharp on the platform, which is nice. Very smooth around the edges. Don't shoot in the pressurized plane. You could blow us all out of here. Alright, we've joined a multiplayer session, although there does not seem to be many people here, which is kind of weird. But yeah, at least we'll get to show off some of the deathmatch and whatnot, so you can see it in action. It's just decently fast-paced stuff, where you just got these little different classes that you get available to you, and you just fire back and forth. There are a wide range of different levels to play, which I think is kind of cool. There's lots of content that they've done, over the years, and just in regards to, like, the quantity of multiplayer maps. Just keep in mind, like, when it comes to, like, the laning and whatnot of the actual multiplayer, it's very strict in its setup. There are cool moments where you can do, like, co-op type actions to push each other up to, like, say, a higher level, so you get a little bit of a vantage point. But for the most part, it's very much like you are forced down particular lanes, you're fighting, it's not, like, super open, you have to, like, hold off and keep pushing forward. It's not, like, quite as frantic movement in comparison to, say, like, Call of Duty or something like that. You are, very much moving in particular ways, traversing through the environment, trying to fight through different spots, and that kind of makes it feel almost, like, linear and stuff, and again, a bit dumbed down compared to other shooters that we get today. But that's what I'm saying. So if we had, like, I wonder if we can get an assist going on here. They're gonna shoot that way. So if we had, oh jeez, more players and stuff battling back and forth, which I think they're starting to fill in. Yeah, they're filling in. We would get these points where it's basically you're just sitting in a hallway shooting back and forth, trying to push forward. You don't necessarily get a lot of, movement like you would in another COD game. And then, again, going back to what I mentioned prior, depending on the weapons that you have available to you in different classes, that can directly impact your, kind of performance here. I was kind of hoping I could get somebody to kind of do the up thing, but it doesn't seem like anybody's around for me to do that, which I think takes away a little bit of the fun. So this is also where you can get into the element of, like, kind of being a little bit spawn camped and whatnot. Because, again, that's kind of the style here, is more of, like, an old school shooter, because it's got those roots from, not, like, old school, but you know what I mean, like, the couple gens ago, and just in terms of the gameplay, which, again, isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's a free-to-play, right? Like, for being a free-to-play, it's actually got, like, a ton of content to it. I can't believe that person didn't die from my free fire there. That's ridiculous. It actually does have years of added content to it. It's been supported, which I think is one of the bigger things. You look at free-to-play games, and you just kind of wonder, hey, is this game still going to be supported in a long time? Is it still getting content? And that's kind of an important aspect, at least to me, for gameplay-wise. I like to check on, is this game going to be dead at some point? Is it worth investing my time? And I can say safely that if you do really get into this for whatever reason, it is something that, has been going for a very long time, and I don't see it stopping at any point. That MP5. It's killing me. It is literally killing me. What will we do? Okay. Down you go. And I'm just trying to show off, I guess, different matches of gameplay. Sort of gone over the different, mechanics and whatnot of it. It's pretty straightforward, but still pretty fun as well. I think you'll find that it offers a lot. So we're going to slip into more just showing off some casual gameplay, because I don't have much else to necessarily discuss on what this one provides. Just more some fun gameplay, so you can see it regularly in action.
Fire in the hole!